Hi guys, so just going to cover off how I do my back testing today, and give you a little bit of a sort of example of what I do when I'm back testing. I'm going to go through a week's worth of back testing on the NQ, the Nasdaq futures. So the website I use is fxreplay.com. I'll leave a link in the description for that, and you can get a free 5-day trial if you sign up on the monthly or yearly plan. They give you a free 5-day trial, and I do think that this backtesting software is probably the best out there, certainly the best I've used. So yeah, check that out. As I say, we'll leave a link down in the description, but I'm already signed in here, so I'm going to go over to my dashboard on FX Replay, and you'll see I've got a couple of sessions in here. Now what I like to do is go into the settings. If you click on your icon up here, and if you go to manage account, you can change the customizations in here. So I like to set it to dark, and you can enable the replay, so you can actually go back in time during the session. I enable the replay setting and the enable go to previous date feature, just so you can skip back if you sort of feel like you want to recover something during the session. Also, if you don't want to stick with the plan after the free trial, or even if you want to cancel it, you can go into here and manage my subscription and just cancel, and you'll still get the 5 days free access, and it will just cut off after the 5 days. So remember to do that if you're not looking to carry on with the subscription. But if we go back to the dashboard, what you have to do is create a session. So at the moment I'm trading a 50k account, so I put in account balance $50,000, and if we click on the pairs here, I'll type in the NQ. Start date, I'm doing the last week in March 2023, so I'll start it there, and I'll do the end date of 2023. Let's do the end date of 1st of April. You can put in a strategy, you don't have to do this, but I tend to just put anything in there, to be honest with you. Put in a description, but you don't have to put in a strategy. It's just if you're back testing a specific strategy, like say Silver Bullet or 2022 model or whatever, you can create different sessions based off of different strategies. You can give it a name and description, and there's also an option in here for smooth candles, which I don't usually touch, but yeah. So we click on enable, and you'll see the strategy appear over here. And then if you want to go into the session and start back testing, you just click on this play now button here, and it will load up the charts for you. And what I quite like about this is it's the trading view charts. So interestingly, it's not actually loaded there, which is great. Yeah, so it will load up the charts. I like to have the free charts on view, so I'll have the 1 minute on the left here, the 5 minute, and the 15 minute on the right. I'll have the 1 minute, and on the left I'll have the 5 minute and the 15 minute time frame, because they're the three that I like to assess. And then I'll do the higher time frame on this 1 minute chart, and you can just expand that just like you would in TradingView here, and you can look at the sort of 4 hour, the hourly, and the daily chart. Um, so yeah, let's just go back to the free chart view there and switch that back to the 1 minute chart. Now, from in here, I like to use a couple of indicators. They don't have all of the indicators that I use in TradingView, but they do have a couple of good ones, and they have an FVG fair value gap indicator by FX replay. Let me see if I can find it in here. Yeah, so these are the two I like. FVG indicator by FX replay and session indicator NY by FX replay. So those are the two I like to apply. I'll just see if it will let me. Sometimes you have to reapply them in here because it's a little bit, can be a little bit tricky to when you first start up the session. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see here, once I enable that, it's highlighting the fair value gaps for you, which is really handy. And then if we put the sessions over the top as well, you can see it puts the overlay of the sessions, like the New York session, the London session, for you on top of the chart for you. So yeah, those are the two indicators that I like to use, and the rest I do kind of manually in terms of kind of levels of liquidity, and I'll highlight the fair value gaps as and when I see them. But it's quite nice to have an indicator help you out when to show that there's a fair value gap developed or developing there. The other thing you have to do is change the time. So the time zone by default will be your local time zone. So I always go in and set that to New York, New York time zone, and you will need the New York session indicator as well, because the other indicator doesn't align to the New York time. So when you change that, it will throw the sessions out. So just make sure you've got those two bits correct. So yeah, that's how I start up the backtesting session with the free charts on view. Mark out the higher time frame, so the daily, the weekly, the daily, the 4 hourly. Drop down to the 1 hourly, see if there's anything in specific on that, and then I'll mainly be sort of skipping through the time frames on these free charts, depending if we're in sort of the New York session. I'll go through it on the minute chart. If not, then I'll do it on the sort of 5 minute chart. But you can see here, if we skip it back a little bit, it shouldn't affect anything. You got this little toolkit here, which this is how you control the chart moving forward. So you can pause it. It's on paused at the moment, so it pauses when you want to have a look at something on the chart, and then you can just hit the play button there as and when you're ready. For some reason that keeps unloading. So you've got you can either click it so it will load up the bars as and when you click, or if you press the pause or play button, it will just continuously load the bars, as you can see them moving there. Or you can hit this button here and it will manually sort of do it candle by candle, and you can slow it up and slow it down and speed it up to your preference there. And then you can also sync it to the time frame chart that you've clicked on. So you'll see there it skips to the 1 minute, it skips to the 5 minute when I click on the 5 minute, and will skip to the 15 when I click on there. So you can toggle that on and off and skip it through sort of the higher time frames if you wish. The other thing is you've got the panel down the bottom here, which you probably couldn't see on the other screen, but it will show you your positions, your closed positions. So you can see here the trades I've taken, your account balance, your net profit loss as well down there. So yeah, and you can actually journal down here. I don't tend to use this feature in all honesty, because I do my journaling with TraderSync. But yeah, that's kind of how I set up my backtesting session. just wanted to go through that with you guys. And what we'll do now is I'll jump into a backtesting session for the last week in March 2023. I always think it's good to if you're trading, I think it's good practice to have backtested the previous year for that month. So for example, we're in March, I like to backtest the whole of March for the last year, and I feel like that will give you a bit of an edge in terms of what you're seeing on the market. So it's always good practice to backtest, and I think certainly backtesting the previous year's current month is a really good way to get you warmed up and ready for live trading. So that's what I try to do. It doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes I'll do more, sometimes I won't do as much, but yeah, it tends to work quite well in terms of a system for back testing. So yeah, I've got the last week in March to do now, which I'm going to voice over and just skip through. There's a few trades to hopefully take in there, and yeah, I'll see you in the next part of the video. Yeah, so was looking for longs here. You can see we've taken out the London low, dropped down a fair bit, and consolidated slightly on the 15 and 5 minute charts there. So just marking out that London low, and what we'll be looking here is for potential reversal. So we need to see for reversals a 5 minute, either break of structure or some displacement towards the upside. I'm just marking off this 5 minute fair value gap here because I'd like to see if price does break structure, then it could return to this area. So marking off the highs here. This high in particular is the one that I was interested in and was looking for as to be treated as potential shift in market structure. The other highs I had marked off were up here. This would be a potential target if we do get a trade set up here. So let's see how this one plays out. I'm just going to move it forward a little bit. So price is moving up, and there we go, we have broken above the high. So it has broken structure, so we could see some movement here. Let's just move it along a little bit, just make sure it does break. Yeah, so you can see on the 5 minute chart there, it has broken the high. We have got a market structure shift. It's taking liquidity out on the sell side. Let's just see if this... Okay, so it looks like, yeah, it looks like it may reverse a little bit here, which is what we want in these situations, and this 5 minute fair value gap could provide us with a potential entry. So I'm going to get my fib tool out here and just see where that aligns. Yeah, it's under 50% of that, which is good. And there's actually a really nice little nested 1 minute fair value gap inside of that 5 minute fair value gap. So yeah, this looks like a really nice setup actually. I'm going to put the entry level there to OTE, which falls inside optimal trade entry, inside of that 1 minute fair value gap and 5 minute fair value gap. So here we go, let's chuck the limit order in and see if this gets triggered. If it doesn't get triggered, we can always see how it reacts to that 5 minute fair value gap. But no, we're in pretty quickly. And let's just see. Oh, let's get rid of that. Let's just see how... Okay, nice displacement. Okay. Yep. Nice bit of displacement off that optimal trade entry, 1 minute nested fair value gap. So this looks good. Wouldn't adjust the stop loss just yet. We'll let this play out, I think. And yeah, it's created a 5 minute fair value gap there, and we've taken the high there as well. So I'm going to move my stop loss to break even because it's taken that immediate high now. If it does start coming back, there's a high chance it will hit the stop loss, so I set my stop to break even there and leave the target on for these highs, and let's just set this play out, see how we behave up here. It's quite extended, so I'm going to actually just roll my stop up here. I'm going to put it below this 1 minute fair value gap because there's a bit of liquidity there. It may come down and visit. Oh, nearly. Okay, cool. Full take profit here on that one. So nice trade on that. Happy with that one for an entry. Hopefully you guys can see here, I've sped this bit up, but each time we move over to the next day or the next session, I'm zooming out, coming to the daily, the 4 hourly charts, just to reassess if there's any sort of levels of liquidity that I need to mark out, fair value gaps, structure shifts on the higher time frame. So it's important that you do that before every session. Just zoom out, see if the structure's changed at all, and just mark off certain areas and levels or fair value gaps or whatever it is that you're trading. But important before every session that you do zoom out and have a look at the higher time frame. Not much to trade off in there, so we took out those equal lows, which I did have marked out. I'm just moving over to the higher time frame here, as you can see, just rearranging slightly just to mark off. Got a 4 hour bullish fair value gap in there, so we'll just mark those bits out ahead of the potential trading hours, which are usually during New York session time. So no trade through until Wednesday here, just watching price consolidate. I think no, not quite. It has broken that 5 minute fair value gap, so we could get a reversal here, which is a classic lunchtime macro. But I think it's pretty much hit 50% of the range already, so it's already gone. So missed that one there, but it did play out. So was it? No, it wasn't quite lunchtime macro, but it did. There was a reversal in price there, but higher time frame still got a bullish bias, so didn't really give us much in terms of an entry on that. So I missed a trade there, unfortunately, but we'll live to tell another day. So this is the benefit of backtesting. So something I noticed when I was looking for a reversal, and just noticed that it's come down to OTE, and I actually have a higher time frame bullish bias here. So marked off this really thin 5-minute fair value gap. It's almost wafer thin, this. So, and there is a couple of stacked or nested 1-minute fair value gaps in there. So I'm just seeing how this plays out. It could be a nice move. Let's just get the fib tool. So that fair value gap is just over half. I'd want it just below that, I think. That would probably be okay. So 50% of that move up. It has broken structure there, as you can see on the 1-minute chart. Create a 5-minute fair value gap. The stop, we'd have to stick it below that low, and we'd want the take profit at the highs. 3.86. So this could be a nice move if this one plays out. Let's just set that to one side over there, and yeah, so let's go place order. So 50%, yeah, lovely. 0.5%, sorry, of the account. So we're only ever risking $250 here. And let's see his Haggis in. So let's just hit play. Really nice push up off that. It's taken out the high there. So nice quick movement straight into decent profit. We're set to break even there. Just mark off that high. Quite happy with the, if it does get up there to the highs, that will be a really nice return on this. So nice clean setup. Yeah, reacted off that 1-minute fair value gap in there. Really nice push up this. And there's another 1-minute and a 5-minute fair value gap here as well. So I'd feel quite happy that that's going to protect my position here with that nice wick down as well. So he's playing into a 5-minute trade idea, so we should be safe placing our stop there. There's also a 15-minute fair value gap, so we've got stacked PD arrays in here now. So yeah, quite happy with how that's played out so far. Let's just see if it does come up and hit our take profit. Little bit of rejection there, but we do have this 5-minute fair value gap developed here, which is being respected, so we'd hold the position, no need to worry, but I will just roll up the stop to below that now because it's again taking the high, so there should be no need for it to come back down here if we're correct about the trade. Stalling a little bit here, so let's just see if we get that one final push. Again, we've taken the high again, so this is a really nice move already. Would we roll the stop up here? I think we will let it play. See how this gets on. Okay, nice. So we've got another bit of displacement there. I will just roll the stop up. Just trail this a little bit now, because obviously, I mean, we're deep in profit, but we don't want it to just turn back on us. It's taken the high again. So is it going to wick up and just hit our take profit? I'm going to just screwball this into below that wick. I'll tell you 50% of that wick actually. Just look at the 5-minute as well. Yeah, I mean, if it takes us out here, we've got some really nice profits, but let's see if it does hit our take profit order up there. I'm going to shuffle it up because I don't want this reversing on me. Okay, last push maybe. Okay, it's taking us out. Yeah, I probably would have manually closed that in all honesty if it was a live trade, because it was so close to the highs. But yeah, nice trade on that. Another winner. So yeah, an almost free R there, 2.97. So nice. I've just sped things up here, so as you can see, I zoom out now. It did eventually actually take that high out, so just mark off on the 4 hourly chart, check the daily, the 1 hourly, just see, marked off this high. There's an Asian low there as well, so just get ourselves reorganised and prepared for the next session. Hasn't got to be anything too strenuous, but just rearranging. So we can see it's already taken out that high. It does look really bullish here, so you see it's just shifting up without dropping back down at all. So let's see what we get for the open. I was looking at this, but the stop would have to be massive, in all fairness. And price was really bullish, but it had taken a higher time frame liquidity, and I was looking at this low resistance liquidity in terms of trend line, but it came down and took it out. So yeah, it's not a trade that I would have taken, and it would have taken me out for a loss anyway. So yeah, not something I would have taken. Price is just consolidating here, so there's not much doing in this. Does look like it's just dripping lower at the moment, but let's just move things along a little bit. It does take out the low, doesn't it, there? So just marking off the Asian high, Asian low. And we've got yesterday's New York low, which looks like a prominent low, and then yesterday's Asia low as well. So this is London. Yeah, London doesn't really do much. It just pretty much consolidates. But we get into New York, and we get some movement. Obviously, take an Asian low there. So I'm going to check on the high time frames. Took out the London low as well, so I'm just marking that up, and some significant displacement there with a wick down. So you can see their price has wicked down, taking liquidity below, and then pushed up. So this is, really bullish when you see stuff like this. It's usually on a news day or FOMC that you get these kind of wicks, and then it rockets into one direction, which has happened here. So we're just watching, see how price reacts in this 5 minute fair value gap. It does respect it, and it does come down to nearly to OTE inside of this fair value gap. Just dips down into discount. So the market's about to open, and we'll see if we get some big wick on that at the open. So this is obviously a news day. It's probably an NFP Friday, I would have thought. see if we get anything in here. So it's inverted that 5 minute fair value gap, reacted off OTE. So I'm just going to get my fib on this. Problem is it's really close to the highs already, so but we can see if it would react in here. Because there is obviously this Asian high up here, which I believe is the draw on liquidity. Stop loss, we just have to chuck it below that. Set that as a limit order. See if we get tagged in this. No. It wasn't a great play, to be honest with you, because it didn't come back down, so no worries there. No trade. So we'll move those bits off the chart and we'll just skip things along a bit here. So I'm just mapping out here because we've obviously had quite a strong trending day and it's getting to lunchtime now. So I'm just mapping out the range and obviously got my eye on the 50% of the range. And we got a little bit of displacement. Well, it's not huge, but a bit of displacement towards the downside, and then inverted this fair value gap on the 5 minute chart, which is something I tend to look for on the potential reversal trades. So it's created a 5 minute bearish fair value gap there as well. So we're getting a few stacked signals here that price may want to draw into the 50% of the range. We'll have to chuck the stop up there. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's going to get all the way to 50%, but certainly these lows could get targeted. It'd be a long stretch. It'd be something you would have to manage down, and if we stuck that up there, yeah, it's a decent play. I think this is worth the risk. So we're in lunchtime macro territory, so let's just play this out. So yeah, tagged into the trade here. It's driven into that fair value gap quite aggressively, so let's just see how this develops. We may take a loss here. Long wick off that as well, which is not usually a great sign. Okay, let's drop back down. Is it going to take the low? If it takes that low out, then we'll set to break even. Kind of has taken it out there. Let's just see how it plays. Yes, I mean, it's taken that low out, so I think this is going to be a break even trade here. Sweep that low. We'd set to break even there. I'm still in the trade, but it's, yeah, oh, I mean, it's displaced there. I'll keep it at break even because that's fair. If it does shoot down from here, then it's a bit of a chancer. Doesn't look like it wants to move, does it? Yeah, taken out, break even. So end on a break even there. I think we took three trades, 2 winners, 1 break even. I'm just going to skip it through. I don't think there's going to be any more trades, so yeah, it's just gone bullish, hasn't it, for the rest of the day. So yeah, that is the session over and done with. So we're going to import these trades now into TraderSync from FX Replay. So I've carried out a backtesting, week's worth of backtesting on the NQ here from March 2023, and what I want to do now is just import these trades from FX Replay into TraderSync so I can add them to the rest of my backtesting. So what we do is we'll come out of this and just go to fxreplay.com, go to my dashboard, and that's a Duff session, so it's this one. If we click on that, and then if you go to analytics here, and you can see the week's worth of backtesting, took 4 trades, break even and a couple of winners. I like to set my break even threshold to 0.5 just to make sure that because sometimes when you set the break even, it's in a little bit of profit or loss when essentially it is a break even trade. So that's the sort of threshold that you put on there. And then yeah, you literally just hit submit. You have to select the time zone. So we're going to go with New York, and that then saves a CSV file in your downloads folder. Then if you go over to the TraderSync dashboard, and in the top right hand corner here you've got add trade, and you can see it's already selected for me, but you essentially just put in there FX Replay, select the portfolio. So I'm selecting the backtesting one. I don't touch any of the other bits, don't convert, and the date format stays the same for me. And then all we have to do is hit browse and find the file in question. So that was in the downloads folder, and then just hit import trades. And there you can see success, 4 trades, 8 executions, which was right. And if we go over to the dashboard now, you can see that those trades have now been imported. So really simple process to import your trades into TraderSync. And once they're imported in here, you can do loads of great stuff with it, running reports and adding sort of journals and strategies to it. You can see here, this is my backtesting account from March last year, and you can see that the win rate and the profit ratio and stuff like that. There's also some AI tools in here, which is really great. You can identify setups and mistakes, stuff like that. It does work best if you go into each of the trades and tag it with a setup if you can. But if we go into one of the trades here, what's a good trade? Let's have a look at this one. There we go, $900. That was pretty good. You can see I started with like 3 losses on the bounce, which was which was great. Yeah, so if you go into the trade, you can see the orders there, the buy order, the sell order, and what works best is if you select a setup. So I'll set this as a lunchtime macro, and you can sort of say mistakes and stuff, and then you can add an image, write some notes in here, stuff like that, and that really helps build the whole sort of journal, and you can run analytics off the back of that, which can be really helpful for sort of looking back at what trading strategies work best for you, what are common mistakes that potentially you're making. For me, the mistake I've got in here is taking one contract or taking something off a bit too early, which I tend to do just to secure the trade. So yeah, stuff like that really helps. Didn't mean to click on that. Let's come off that. So yeah, that's how you import import your trades from FX Replay into TraderSync, and as I say, you get some really nice statistics off the back of that. You see win percentage 60%, average return $359, and the profit factor 8.42. So 10k over a month backtesting with a 50k account is pretty good return. So yeah,